What up, what up, what up? It's RJ Fancy Football Talk. You know what it is. It's Rodney, it's Jay. Here, man. What's going on, man? How was your week, man?
Hey.
How did you do, man?
Yeah, hey, we're getting right near the final week of the season, almost that play. We talked about playoff pushes last time, and I'm looking good for being I'm in my 8 leagues. I'm gonna at least be in 4 or 5 playoff spots. This was a good week for me. I lost in a couple of leagues. That one of them that in particular might have put me out of contention, but it's all good. We did our picks, and this was the first week ever that everybody finished with everybody got 9 games right. So I don't know whether we were all very good or all very bad, but overall, really good week. Really good week. How about yourself?
Hey, man, it was a great week, man. I went 6-0 this week in fantasy. Um,
Nice.
I'm sitting in first in 2 leagues. I'm sitting in third in 2 leagues.
Okay.
I'm sitting in fourth, and I'm sitting in seventh. But I can make the playoffs at 6. I can get that last final spot, but I got to push though. But
Okay.
I can make the playoffs in all my leagues this year. So just keeping my fingers crossed, man.
Hey,
Trying to bring some chips home, man. You
hey,
know.
if you do that, that's what's up. Oh, let me also mention I haven't mentioned my best ball leagues in a while. They're doing well. I won another quarter for those that was at the beginning. So I finished in first place. This is just a simple $1 league, but it's been a learning experience. So I actually enjoyed it. This is my first year ever doing best ball, and I will be doing it again next year. So
Uh,
pulling
I,
you in
I,
next year too.
I'm white, man. I don't know, man. I gotta see, man. I don't know. I'm getting out of one league. One league, actually, the league I came back. I was in 10th place, man. Because it
Right.
was something new. I started at the end. I did it like late, real late, beginning of the year. So I didn't understand the rules, but now once I got it, I mean, I took off from there, man. I went
Uh
from 10th to fourth, and I just fought my way back, man. So and there's a basically 4 teams make the playoffs. So I got that last seed, man. So I fought my way up. And I'm gonna get in there though. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna make some noise. So we're gonna see.
Hey, that's all we can do, man. Just keep on rolling with it. Yo, a few little glitches on my part today. I forgot this is not the 40-second play clock, so partner with me. You supposed to call that out from the beginning. So
That's all good,
we
man.
got
Hey,
the
hey, look, man.
we got the right title going on. So this week's show is about for those of you that watch. I see the quarter. For those that pay attention to the NFL football, which if you're watching this fantasy show, you probably do. You know that this was the week that the NFL did their my calls, my cleats. So we had a whole bunch of players. Basically, they could have their own design, specially designed cleats, supporting different causes, and so we saw stuff go to like the military, disease awareness, cancer research, stuff for youth, food banks, all sorts of great causes. And so, what we're going to do throughout the show today is we're going to highlight some of the causes that we particularly like displayed on some people's cliques. And so, we'll share a few of the ones that really stuck out to us. And of course, hey, feel free to put in your own comments on the stuff that you saw this week. And we're since we do fantasy football, I always think it's a good idea when you find out what players have causes that are special to them. Hey, if they help you with your fantasy football team and won you a championship, hopefully, hey, you can give 2 calls that matters to them as well. So it goes both ways. So yeah,
Definitely, definitely. We really gonna get into that today because
yeah,
there's a couple guys like we both did our research and our homework. We picked out some cliques that we thought were really nice and we felt was the cause was good. So that's the main thing. So, but we're definitely gonna touch on that. But let's get some stuff in real quick and then we can get back
yeah.
gonna get back to that. So we just gonna go ahead. like we normally do, we're gonna start with some top quarterback plays of the week. Um, Obviously, we got Tom Brady, 38 of 51, 368, 4 touchdowns and an interception. Kirk Cousins, 30 of 40, 340, 2 touchdowns.
Uh-huh.
Justin Herbert, another good game, 26 of 35, 317, 3 touchdowns. And the first time making this list this year, got their first win. Jared Goff,
Yeah.
25 of 41, 296, 3 touchdowns. They pulled it off. They got their first win of the year. Congratulations. Matthew Stafford, bounce back win. It didn't play too well the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
26 of 38, 295, 3 touchdowns. That's what I got.
Hey, good, all good stuff. I like all those players. I just want to give a special shout out to my main man, Taysom Hill. He did a lot more with his legs than he did with his arm. 264 throwing, but 101 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. But the thing that makes him so great is I needed him desperately in two, actually three of the leagues I'm in, and he came through, and it wasn't pretty, but it was pretty enough. So I won in all the leagues where I started Taysom Hill. So thank you, Taysom. I appreciate it. It's about doggone time that they gave you the reins to the show. So keep it up. Keep it up. What's up, Justin? Man. Welcome to the show. 8-game win streak? Uh-oh.
Am I helping with that, Justin? Let me know.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely. Let me know I'm helping with that, Justin. Let's jump to this running back thing, man. Honestly, let's get Jonathan Taylor, another week on the list. I mean, you can't stop this, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this is the number one running back going into fantasy next year, hands down. I don't care what nobody else tell you. Jonathan Taylor, number one, 32, 143, 2 touchdowns. That offensive line, the way it's built, they have the best offensive line in the league. It's just crazy. Sony Michelle came out playing well. He had 24 carries, 121 and a touchdown. You had Miles Sanders coming off of IR for the second week in a row. 24 carries, 120. He didn't have a touchdown, but it's still good. And we had the dreadful Patriots-Buffalo game where literally the quarterback only threw 3 passes, but Damian Harris had 10 carries of 111 yards and a touchdown. And to finish it off, I've been talking about this guy. I've been bragging about this guy a whole lot. Devontae Williams. If he ever got his shot, he would do well. And that he did in the losing cause, but still he did. 23 carries, 102 yards, 0 touchdowns, but he had 6 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Great week for him. That's what I got for the running backs.
Great week for Devontae Williams. We've been waiting for this breakout game, but the breakout kind of happened because Melvin Gordon wasn't there.
That's
Melvin
true.
Gordon is possibly back this week. Do you think Devontae Williams keeps it going, or are they back to that 50-50 split?
I honestly think that what he showed last week, because obviously the offense is not great. They got a couple of good pieces out there. You got Judy, you got Courtney Sutton. You can build off of what you have. I think they actually stick with him, man. Honestly, to be real with you, I think because they see what with Gordon, by limiting him, it doesn't help the offense. Even though they lost again, but still he still makes the offense a little bit better than Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
So I think they have to at this point though. Why not?
Hey, I believe he should get the bigger portion of the thing just because they drafted him to be that guy. They need to start seeing I think they have seen what he can do. They need to let him start doing it. But I would still probably look to see Melvin Gordon eat into some of what he did. But hey, it's Devontae Williams season, so hopefully he can help you guys out in the playoffs. We got our first question coming in from Justin. If you're on an 8-game win streak, of course you win. I'm not even going to read it, but I'm going to say yes. But let's see. He's got Stafford, Jones, Javonte Williams, we just talked about, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Kyle Pitts, J-Rob. That's James Robinson from the Jaguars. Yeah. We got Denver's defense, Matt Gay. And it's playing against Tom Terrific. My man Tom Brady, Antonio Gibson, who should be really set well with McKissick's injury, sadly.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, Deontay Johnson. They got Chase, Jamar Chase. We need to talk about him when we do wide receivers. Travis Kelce. He's got. I think that's what's it? Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman.
Cowboys defense and Tyler Bass as the kicker.
I think he got it. I mean,
if Stafford plays like he did this past week, I think he got it.
Yeah.
So
the only downfall, the one I've been high on J-Rob a lot all year, but I just don't know what Urban Myers is doing, bro. Like
Urban Meyer doesn't know what Urban Meyer is doing. Did you see that? We're not in news, but James Robinson apparently also doesn't know. Nobody understands what Urban Meyer is doing right now.
I understand. So. He literally played him like when the game was over with. You put him in a game, you ran him 2 times, game is completely over with. And did you take him out? He's coming off an injury, but I don't know what's going on. I don't. I mean, I know he fumbled. He got benched for Carlos Hyde a little bit, but he's better than Carlos Hyde. I mean, I just don't know. Like that's like other than that, I think he wins. I mean, J-Rob that's the biggest question mark outside of his roster. But I mean, I think he wins, but J-Rob is definitely, I don't know, man, about that one. But he got it though. I would be scared of Brady and Gibson.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson, that's so hit and miss. with Ben Roethlisberger right now.
Hey, you looked good this past week. We'll see.
Yeah. What did he do the week before that?
Yeah.
They scored literally 6 points? I think not even that. He got it. I think he got it. Yeah. I give him that one.
Hey, hopefully keep that win streak going. Just also says he thinks Javonte's going to have a 65-35 workload, which makes sense since Gordon's coming off the injury. So maybe working him back in slowly. He also says he can start Gallup or AJ Dillon or Sony Michelle or Jeff Wilson over J-Rob. Do you like any of those? And also, did you see what Trevor Lawrence said about James Robinson today?
I didn't catch that one today. I really didn't catch what he said, but I would like to know. But I would start. I mean, it's pick your choice on that one. I would go anyone over that, honestly, to be real with you, because the situation is a fluid situation right now. You don't know what's going on over there, so you can play him and take that risk of him not doing anything when you got guys on the bench that actually. I like Sony Michelle actually. To be real
Sony Michelle, because I think we talked about it. Someone asked a question about would you do start Sony Michelle last week if Darrell Henderson was out, and was like, yeah, but I know I particularly had low expectations because like Sony Michelle is only gonna do so well because I mean the Rams have been kind of crazy, but Sony Michelle showed off last week. So
yes, he did.
Can he
went off. I think he can. I think he can do it again. I think the way the Rams run, if Henderson's there, I think the way they run, I think he'll split. And I mean, I don't think it'll be a 50-50 split, but I think he has shown that he can be that guy. And so they got to get him on the field because he's talent. They got to put talent on the field. So I get it.
Yeah.
And he said,
speaking of, I was going to get to that one after you finished that answer. But yeah, basically the same thing we've been saying all season. James Robinson, it's like Urban Meyer just missed all of last season and then somehow figured out, you have to get James, because for a while he was getting James Robinson the carries, then goes back again. It's like, dude, you have a workhorse star running back and you're not giving him the time he needs. So Urban Meyer, we've said all year, disaster. But
I mean, Urban Meyer, and then he comes out and apologizes about, I'm sorry, I messed up. I shouldn't have did that. As a coach, you should not be on a apologizing tour every week about what you apologize for something every week that you did wrong. How about you just go out there? I think it's the college thing that's in his head, because in college, you got 2-3 running backs you running, you got 2 quarterbacks you running, so you interchanging those parts. In the league, it's not like that. You have to. If you got a stud running back, you play your stud running back.
You
You give him the 25 carries.
you can do that if you have the backfield that justifies bringing in running backs like that. They don't have that at Jags. They need to lean heavily on James Robinson because they don't have a lot of talent on that team. People thought the Jaguars are a team that look better on paper than they actually are. And so people gave them a lot of credit for saying, okay, this is a very talented team. It's not a very talented team, and I think we've seen that. So you need to go with the guys that are studs. And like you said, James Robinson is that dude. Welcome my mom, Orlena Lewis, to the show, and my cousin, Angelo Sykes. We talked about the pick'ems. This was the first week that all the people in the group had the exact same number of picks. But Angelo, I am coming for you. I'm one game out of that first place spot, and this is the week. I'm about to get all my picks right. So speaking of picking, a question for you, since you're the 49ers expert on the show. Do you think Elijah Mitchell plays? And if he doesn't, who's getting the workload? A lot of people have been picking up your boy.
Michael,
Hasty.
Michael Hasty.
Yeah.
They say he didn't practice today.
Right.
They say it's a concussion, and then they saying is he had an MRI on his knee. It was like a little irritation on his knee.
Right.
It depends on. I would just keep looking as far as this week. It depends on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he comes out tomorrow and gets a limited practice in, and Friday gets a limited practice in, and Saturday kind of gets a limited, then he's gonna play in. But just kind of stay tuned for tomorrow. But if anything you do, you look up Jermichael Hasty because Jeff Wilson had his knee flared up. So
right.
I don't know if that's a good play. But I would just take a look at that. Hasty's the only one back there because they worked out like three running backs today. So who knows? But Hasty will probably get the nod though.
I was looking, and since you're the expert, you can tell me how many running backs do y'all have on that squad? Because it seems like every week there's a new guy that's stepping up because either someone's hurt or someone's in Shannon. Y'all have like an unlimited number of running backs. Y'all just keep running out there.
Well, we had 6 running backs in training camp. We had Jermichael Hasty. We had Jeff Wilson got hurt.
Yeah.
So, and then we had Elijah Mitchell. And then we had, obviously, our star running back got hurt. So, we had about 6 right now. It's just really Jermichael Hasty's right there. Right now. They really want Elijah Mitchell to take that, to be that guy. He is the guy.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's the man. I mean, he got hit in the head, literally by a knee last week. That's how he got the concussion.
Yeah. Because
when he was going down, he got hit in the head. But if he can stay healthy, he's really the guy. And then you got Trey Sherman.
No, you don't.
Trey Sherman's out for the season now, so he's done. So
he's out forever. If you go by the way this season went.
I think he's gonna be there next year. I think he's gonna be the second back next year. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Want to hit these wide receivers?
Let's go. Justin Jefferson with no Thielen. And I love every bit of it because I got Justin Jefferson. 11 receptions, 182, and a touchdown. Chris Godwin went off. 15 receptions, 143. I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
1 week is Godwin. 1 week is Gronk.
They have an overabundance of talent. Yeah.
I get that. I get that part of it. But my question for you is, who do you trust the most? On a weekly basis, who can you say, I'm going to put him in my lineup, and I'm rolling with him. I'm not thinking twice about taking him out because I don't know if he can get touches.
I'm going to answer this with the truth first, in as much as I don't have a single wide receiver for the Bucs or tight end. I think I have Gronk in like one of a best ball league. But because of that reason, I went other places. Because I was like, it's going to be hard to know. Even with the guy who's dead to me, he's coming up later. I was like, there's just too much uncertainty. But if I have to pick a guy, Mike Evans is my pick of the guy.
Well, I got Chris Godwin in one league, but I don't. It's weird. I never get a chance to get Mike Evans.
Right.
Never. And like
he's top 5 wide receiver. I got to fill in when Shaq's not here. So someone's got to say it.
I guess, man. I don't know if I try to get him. but it just never works out to where I can actually get him
Right.
and pick him up. I can't do it for some reason. But I got Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's been really good for
Yeah.
me this year. I mean, but it's just weird because one of those guys, which Mike Evans had, I think, 9 touches, 99 yards. He didn't have a touchdown. He still had good numbers, but you have games like this where Chris Godwin has 15, 16 touches, 150, 140 yards.
Right.
But you don't know. And then Gronka had these big games. It's like, which one do you really want to do? Like, it's hard to pick which one. But you got to keep them in the lineup if you drafted them that high. So at the end of the day, that I just wanted to know. And speaking of questions, since you want to talk about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
9 receptions, 138, and a touchdown. My question for you is, who's the number 1 receiver?
I think we had this discussion before the season started about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And I was big on T. Higgins. You were big on Jamar Chase. And you were right for the first half of the season with Jamar Chase. The second half, it's like it just completely flipped. It's like, Jamar Chase, do you even start him anymore? Or do you bench this guy? Because it's that thing we've seen a lot of the times with wide receivers. Who was it? I don't think it was Myles Garrett, but somebody. It was I think Mike Tomlin. Angelo, if you still watch, you're the Steelers expert. Was he like there's always a hot wide receiver that starts big and then just duds at the end of the season? And that's what we're seeing with Jamar. He's doing the drops that he was doing in the preseason, and that one of them turned into a turnover just this past week. And it's like Jamar Chase has fallen off. I don't give up on him though.
No, you don't.
I don't give up on him, but if I have other options, I might. You just say in the playoffs, you go with your studs. If I have another guy I think it's studly enough, I might not want to rely on Jamar Chase, just because he is falling off a cliff from where he was doing.
It reminds me of the argument we had with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. So it's
right.
Exactly like that. How I'm big on Robbie Anderson, you big on DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson comes out hot.
Yeah.
I mean, flaming. But DJ Moore catches up to him. Now, for me, I think you can't sit Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
You can't, because I think Jamar Chase is that good of a receiver that he's a rookie. What people don't realize, he's still a rookie. So, and I don't even think he hit a rookie wall per se. I just think he had a couple bad games. And
a rookie's speed bump, maybe not the wall.
Yeah, a speed bump, but I don't think he hit the wall.
Okay.
But I think he still can make plays. I think it's just opportunity. T. Higgins has been, balling. And he got hurt last week and still came back out. I mean, he was limping and everything. So T. Higgins, he was the guy there last year. T. Higgins.
Right.
But I always felt T. Higgins was good anyway. I just felt like Jamar Chase was the connection with him and Joe Burrow.
Right, exactly.
So I think they always would have. That was going to be a better combination, but we forgot about T. Higgins was there before Jamar Chase.
I didn't forget about it.
And we understand that they had a connection too. Yeah. So I think in the long run, both of them are going to be good for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree.
I just think right now you have to play. You can't sit them. You got to play both of them. If you have them, play them because you don't know which one is going to go off. So at the end of the day, you got to play them. And the next one is. We've been talking bad about this guy a couple of weeks. Russell Gage. The last couple of weeks has been really, really good. 11 receptions, 130 yards, no touchdowns, but it's the Falcons. Yeah. Like when they get down in the 20, they don't ever throw it in the end zone for some reason. But Russell Gage definitely has stepped up in the absence.
Just a few weeks ago, he put up that goose egg against Dallas, and he's done no less than 5 receptions every game since then. So, he's definitely turned it around.
So, I definitely and we just go ahead and finish it off. We got Cooper Kupp, 8 receptions, 129 and a touchdown. Mike Williams, which I'm going to get to him later a little bit too. Okay. 5 receptions, 110 yards, 0 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson, 8 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And Hunter Renfro. That's right. Hunter Renfro, who put in 102 every week, baby. Give me the
Can't
opportunity.
with you.
102
Jeez.
yards for Hunter Renfro. Hey, he's on track to potentially hit that 1,000 yards.
Oh my gosh! No,
He's
you're not with this
he,
stuff.
hey,
Nothing again.
hey, he only needs about 250 or so yards. I mean, for the
Okay.
rest of the season. So if he can get average like 50 or so yards for the rest of the season, we got 1,000 yards from Hunter Renfro coming up. Maybe.
Oh
Fingers
God,
crossed.
can't with you. And I'm
Hey,
gonna just finish it off with this.
yeah,
Only two tight ends did work
yeah.
this week, and that was Dallas Goedert, 6 receptions, 105, 2 touchdowns, and the best tight end in the league,
Second best,
George
George
Kittle.
Kittle.
George Kittle's
Oh, he
9 receptions,
he was a monster.
181,
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. I mean, that 48-yard touchdown when he
Oh yeah.
walked the sideline. I mean, you can't. He tiptoed, baby. Come on now.
hey,
You got
hey,
to give it to him this
I
week.
got Kittle on one of my rosters, so I was glad to see him do it. So I
Yeah,
hope he
so
keeps it up.
I hope you do too. So
Yeah. So.
I got him on a few roster spots. So
All right,
definitely.
let's hit some more of these questions. Um, we've got one from Justin. He's asking. He has to start three between Alexander Madison, Najee Harris, Antonio Gibson, Devontae Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Zeke. Wow, you have all these guys. uh,
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, Javonte Williams. Also, did you hear that Cook is questionable? Yeah, I heard he. I wouldn't put a lot of. It's. I don't know. Would you start Cook if he is playable? Yeah,
I've seen that hit that he took.
yeah,
Watching it live, and it didn't look good.
yeah.
I'm surprised he's back this week. Um,
I
I
can't.
think they lean.
Yeah,
They lean. If anything, it's gonna be like a split
right.
just because he's coming back from the injury.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm playing Najee, honestly.
yeah,
I'm playing Najee. I'm playing Gibson, and I'm playing Javonte Williams. Like I like Zeke. Mitchell is hurt right now. Zeke is hurt for real right now.
yeah,
Zeke is really hurt, but
yeah.
they trying to downplay it.
They've been putting him on like a pitch count, so to speak.
Yeah.
So nah, Zeke is definitely a no for me. Mitchell's a no. I'm with you. Najee and Antonio Gibson are the definite. So for me, it's between Javonte Williams and Madison. I think I can't imagine Dalvin Cook playing, or at least playing significantly, tomorrow night. So if Cook is definitely out, it's 100% Madison, because
Yeah.
I know we have Steelers fans that watch, but I would feel very comfortable with saying Madison's gonna have a good night if he's the sole guy.
Yeah.
Javonte
Definitely.
Williams, if Gordon, and it's just a sort of opposite thing. If Melvin Gordon comes in, I think he impacts more than Dalvin Cook. So I say wait and see. but
I'm,
if I had to pick today, I'm gonna say Javonte Williams over Madison, just because I don't know what
yeah.
tomorrow's gonna bring.
I'm telling you, man. I think Javonte Williams,
Yeah,
the writing's on the wall for Gordon. He's seen it. I'm telling you, if you look at the past couple of weeks, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, Gordon been hurt. He's been on the injured
yeah.
list. He's been
hmm
hurt quite a few times, and he's forced his way back in practice.
But when he
Just so,
plays, he still manages to do well. And that's like when we how many weeks have we said, oh, this is going to be the week that Javonte Williams is out, and the only time it's actually really happened was when Melvin Gordon didn't play at all. So
well, I mean, you got to think about it. When you got heat on you like that, when you
yeah,
got a
you gotta
younger, better
produce.
back, you got to fight through those injuries, and you got to go out there and perform. He's playing hurt,
He's
no matter
playing.
what.
He's playing for his next job. If he wants to play next year, it might not be
Yes,
with Denver. So he has to show, yo, I can still do this.
I can
So
still do this, but he's still
he's playing
playing
with
hurt.
fire. Yeah,
He playing hurt, and he's like, man, you know what? No matter what, it's a nick, it's a ding. I'm coming out there because I know this guy behind me is trying to take my job.
this guy behind him is taking his job.
He's taking his job,
It's
and I
no
think I
question
think
to
this
me
week,
about that. Yeah,
if Devontae Williams come out and he does, gotta realize the last 2 weeks, aside from this week and last week, he's
yeah,
actually did. I think he did 19 and 33 fantasy points in our league,
yeah,
and that's he caught a touchdown out the backfield. So he's playing better
yeah.
than Melvin Gordon. And Melvin Gordon see it, he just like, man, I gotta come back. He gonna rush back this week to get hurt again. For what?
Yeah.
When you might as well just say, hey, it's your time, young buck. Go ahead
I
and
know
take it.
it's your job.
Yeah.
Yo, do you think Perrine or Hasty? We talked about Hasty a little bit earlier. Do you think Perrine's an ad?
I would add Hasty,
You add Hasty?
honestly. Just all bias aside, I think because
Yeah.
I read this article. Actually, well, I read a few articles, and they said because if Devo don't play this week,
Right.
you can't rely on Jimmy to win you the game. They said Jimmy, anytime Jimmy
Yeah.
throws over 25 passes a game, we lose the game. So we have to run the ball. So in order for us to win, we have to run. So
Yeah.
Hasty's going to get a more of an opportunity than Perrine will because you got Coleman and all this. It's too many backs in with Jets right now. So
Yeah.
Hasty's the only one there, and that's all we got personally. So they're gonna run him anyway. So that's where I would go.
Agreed. The other comment that yes, Hunter Renfro is a beast, especially with Waller out. So I agree. Gronk also had 2 touchdowns. The other tight end with 2 touchdowns. Not as many yards as other guys, but he definitely played well. Justin says he thinks that Dalvin Cook could come back next week. I see it. That's why it's because tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's too short.
Is way too short. And he also thinks Jeff Wilson is going to play, which
we'll see about that.
And the possibility of Melvin Gordon going to the. I hope not because they can't even use Myles Gaskin.
They have a running back. I just don't.
Do they?
Yes,
is there something in Florida? Because he's doing the same thing that Urban Myers or Brian Flores. It's like something in Florida says don't use your running back. I don't.
No, Florida. See, Flores is different. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why is he different?
He comes from that Belichick background.
Does.
So Belichick runs 3-4 running backs. That's why people don't draft Patriots running backs because you don't know which one is gonna start or play each week. And he comes from that background. So he's gonna play 3-4 running backs. He don't matter. No, don't do it. Don't go there. No way. No.
I think that would be a bad career move. Yeah. They already have a very overfilled running back room, and I don't think Melvin Gordon needs any part of it. He was clarifying just that he more so meant Perrine if there's no Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon went off the field for a little bit the last game. He came right back and looked really good. We'll see, but I don't right now expect Joe Mixon to miss this week.
Yeah,
keep watch over it, but I don't think he's gonna miss.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into some waiver wire pickups if you need these guys. Russell Gage is owning 30% of Yahoo right now.
Right.
Go pick him up because he's getting hot now. Good playoff player to
starting.
Good guy to pick up for the playoffs, definitely. I put this guy on the list, but God forbid I hope he don't get hurt. Devontae Parker. He's owned 53% of the league. He's on a bye this week, so he can't
get hurt this week, right?
He can't get hurt this week. And if you need a play for tomorrow night, KJ Osborne from Minnesota is a good play. He's owning 4%. No Adam Thielen is playing this week from injury. Jermichael Hasty is another one. He's owning 1% of fantasy leagues right now. So if you need these guys, go pick them up. They can help you get a win this week. Devontae Parker maybe down the line. Russell Gage could definitely help you get a win this week. So definitely.
You picking up Ricky Seals-Jones?
No. Why? I got Kittles.
Well, those that have Logan Thomas.
I'm just saying. Why? I got.
Okay, maybe not you specifically, but other people who might be in a need for a tight end.
Yes, I would say that because their quarterback loved throwing to the tight end, so I would definitely pick him up. And when he was hurt the first time, he came in and did work. So I think he's a good pickup if you need a tight end, definitely.
Here's one for you, and I'm gonna precede this question by saying no, I don't. But Daniel Jones not expected to be back. Glennon got hurt; he had a concussion. Do you pick up Jake Fromm as the quarterback for the Giants? No.
Is that the former Georgia quarterback,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken?
yeah.
That's the
I forget where he picked up, but he was on the practice squad of. Let me
no.
think
Did
which
he go to
team.
school at Georgia?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
Maybe. But I know they picked him off of somebody's practice squad, and it escapes me right now. For some reason, I want to say the Patriots, but I don't think that was it. Um,
No.
but yeah, if you have to pick up Jake Fromm, my guess is you're not in the playoffs, so
You're not.
don't even worry about it. So
No, not even.
right,
So
because honestly, you shouldn't have had Daniel Jones or Mike Glennon on your fantasy squad to begin with,
not even.
unless you're very, very desperate. Justin says Jalen Guyton is also a sneaky ad you can put in. So
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So
well, go
is a
for it.
reason for that. Well, we're gonna start with the news. We can go with some news first. Uh, Jason Garrett is possibly getting a job in
Yeah,
college with Duke, which I just don't understand this too much.
right.
Like, he wasn't a great coach. He really wasn't a great offense coordinator.
Not great.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what they see in him. Help me out here, because I don't see it. It's plenty of young coaches out here that you can pull from other colleges, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinator. Still them from Alabama for all means. I mean, geez.
I say this: the slight intrigue with him for college it could be the fact that he has that NFL experience, and he's not he had some success as a coordinator. I don't think he's bad at that job, but I think he got too much. But let's just go with it. The Giants are terrible, so there was no way he was going to make that offense into a success. Like, even if Saquon
Hold on.
Barkley wasn't hurt.
Let me ask you this though, because
Okay.
I get a lot of blowback from somebody that we know,
Okay.
and he asks me all the time. He said his question is always, is it the coach or is it the quarterback? And I'm gonna ask you the same thing.
Okay.
Was it the offensive coordinator and the coach?
With the
Or is it,
Giants,
yeah, or is it Daniel Jones?
all of the above is my answer. I think I wanted Daniel Jones to be good because I just like the nickname Danny Dimes. I think there's enough to say he's not really good.
Okay.
I'm not impressed with I'm not impressed with anything happening on the Giants except for Saquon Barkley. The 5 weeks a year he's not hurt. Other than that, there's just nothing there of excitement.
I want to say, and like I always tell him, I say, I think it's because the coach can't get on the field and play for you. Now,
Right.
he can feed you the plays,
Yeah.
but it's on you to read the defense. It's on you to make the
Yeah.
plays. It's on you to get it to the receivers. It's
Which
on
they
you to get
also
it to
don't have. That's also like it's so that the cupboards are so empty with the Giants that there's no possible way for me to see success the way
I
they're
mean,
currently constructed.
I agree with you
Yeah.
on that, but I come back and I'll say this.
Yeah.
And I'm by no means am I comparing him to Tom Brady. But what I am saying is this. Tom Brady played with a lot of no-name receivers.
Right.
It made them better. The purpose of being a quarterback, a
True.
really good quarterback anyway, is to make the players around you better.
Yeah.
Because we see that all the time. Honestly, think about this. Kenny Galladay was great in Detroit because of Matthew Stafford.
Right.
He's not great now, though.
And
So-
he's always injured. Yeah.
He's always injured. So, but my thing is this. I blame it on Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones is not making these players better. At the end of the day, he still got to go out there and throw the ball to him. He's making wrong
definitely
reads.
part of the problem. Yeah.
He's part of the problem at the end of the day. So, in order for him to be good, yes, he has to practice and get it right in practice, but he also got to go on the field and perform. He's not going on the field and perform. So I would say 80% of it's Daniel Jones, and maybe 20% is the coaches because he still got to perform at the end of the day, no matter what.
80% is a lot.
Daniel Jones is bad. He's that bad. That's why.
He's not good. I'll say that. But for me, just scrap the whole thing. Thanks, Justin, coming in with our help. It is Georgia that he went to school with, and it was the Bills practice squad. I was in the right division, just wrong team. It's the Bills. And he would pick up Jake Fromm if you're in the super flex, maybe a 2-quarterback league. You could, but I don't think it's going to help. And if Glennon plays, I don't think that's going to help either.
Speaking of why he's saying Jalen Godwin might be a good. Mike Williams is out. He just contacted COVID today, actually. Right. He's out for Sunday. He will not be playing. So that is a good pickup if you need another receiver. And you got Russell Wilson is open, and I need your opinion on this. Russell Wilson is open to playing for those New York Giants and New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos. And let's have a little fun here.
Okay.
Which team
Broncos.
Dang.
There you go. That's your answer.
Broncos?
If I'm Russell Wilson, screw playing for the Giants because they're a hot mess. And their offense is always hurt, like Justin just said. No way. No way. And what's the other team you said? Miami? No, wait, you said New Orleans. New Orleans would be interesting only because of Sean Payton.
Why not?
But I need to see what's happening with receivers. Like Michael Thomas, I think they have a truce. But if I'm coming back to the wide receivers they have right now, I want no parts of that. They have to overhaul that. There's so many talented wide receivers and the tight end font with Denver. If they have that strong running game with Devontae Williams, the Broncos would be an excellent place to go. Plus, he's already AFC familiar for the most part. He's played against some of those guys. He's Russell Wilson, so he should be all right there.
So you don't think with him going to New Orleans that would change? That might make him say, you know what, I want to come back because Russell Wilson is here. That might change his mindset. I mean, you got Alvin Kamara, you would have Russell Wilson. I mean, you would have everything, and the defense is not that bad, honestly.
No.
So I like New Orleans over Denver.
Okay. I don't.
I think because of the division. I think they can win a division every year. What is Carolina doing? They about to go back to a rookie quarterback because they drafted one this year.
Yeah.
Just think about Atlanta. They're going to have a rookie quarterback next year probably.
Is Tom Brady going to still play next year?
I mean, obviously, that's your only guy you got to get past.
Okay.
I mean, but it's 7 seeds. It's 7 seeds. So basically, that last
not that Denver's a better option because you still have to contend with Patrick Mahomes and maybe Derek Carr. But I think as far it's not quite the same situation when Peyton Manning went with Denver. But Denver is pretty set up to be a Super Bowl contender. The defense is good. Their wide receivers are good. Their running game is good. They need a good quarterback because Teddy
ain't the answer.
He ain't answer. Drew
too close.
Yes.
Teddy two gloves. Yeah.
Teddy two gloves. Drew Lock is not the answer.
No, he's not.
You put in Russell Wilson with that team, and they are instantly competing for the AFC. Yeah. So I don't think there's a better situation. Justin says if Michael Thomas is back, then yes, he want Russ. But yet again, Denver and the Saints will never win the division with Mahomes and Brady there.
I mean, that's true. I mean, but Brady ain't going to be there for well, I take that back because we don't know how long Brady's going to play. But Brady, another, 2-3 years? Like,
right.
Why? I mean, they could win that division and the Saints could win it. Again, it's 7 seeds. You have 7 seeds now. 7 teams can make the playoffs. Look, think about this. The NFC East is going to have 3 teams in the playoffs this year. So you trying to tell me that the Saints can't make the playoffs? Come on.
The Saints can make the playoffs. Sure, of course they can. I like the setup in Denver. I love
the setup in Denver.
And there you go. Devontae to the moon if Russell Wilson is there.
I'm making a case for New Orleans.
You
The
can make
Giants
it. Look,
said,
like I said, I like New Orleans as the plan B, but
okay.
I prefer what could happen. Hey, plus you got the higher elevation, so he can throw farther. There you go.
Now let me ask you this: you think Sierra want to go to Denver,
No, not at
or she,
all.
or she want to go to New Orleans? She might want to go to New York for real. So
Yeah,
let's be
she
real
might.
now. Yeah, she.
But
So that
Denver's nice though. I mean, you got the snow. You can do some skiing. You know,
she
check
can't
out
market
Boulder.
herself. She can't market herself in Denver. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
she can market herself anywhere.
Okay, and we're gonna finish it off. Obviously, Taysom Hill's playing. They're expecting to play this week.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara's gonna be back this week. So that's good too. Justin Fields is back this week, which they need him back so bad because Andy Dalton threw 4 interceptions last week. I mean, geez,
Yeah.
terrible. So
Question.
that's all I got for news. You got
I have some news for I want to get to,
about it.
but here's the question: Are the Giants playing F for Russell Wilson?
No. I think honestly,
Plan a band. Don't do it to yourself. Would be my
don't
advice.
do it.
Like no.
No. Is Daniel Jones back next year?
It's an F because that's the grade that player would get. Because don't the Giants are a dumpster fire, and I would very clearly stay away. Before I do my news stories, I want to get on to go back to our subject for today, just to do a couple of these, and then we get back to this news story. So what we're talking about, for those that are joining us late, this week the NFL did their My Calls, My Cleats. That's the biggest news story there is. And so, like we said before, it gave players a chance to highlight some of the different charities or foundations that they sponsor and raise awareness and raise money, because you can actually go to the NFL website and bid on some of these cleats if you want to get them. So the first one I'll throw out, we talked about mental health on the show a few times. And so Jordan Glasgow for the Cults. This is actually a foundation that the it's a Cults foundation called Kicking the Stigma. And it's basically a whole thing that's dedicated to bringing awareness to mental health issues. We've had things this season with, like for instance, Calvin Ridley doing battling with his mental health is the reason why he's not playing right now. So I just want to give a shout out to the good work that's being done there with their Kicking the Stigma foundation. There's another one you picked out. Want to speak on Traquan Smith?
Yes, I do. I feel like let me pull it up. Is American Diabetes Association? I actually think that's honestly a lot of people die from diabetes. They don't understand about diabetes. It's very, very, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like I know a lot about it, but a few of my family members, I think my aunt had it, so that's something that as soon as I seen that, I was like, man, that's a good cause, honestly. But the one I really want to talk about, if you can pull it up, is the one Action for Healthy Kids. And a lot of kids are not really, especially at time around this year, the holidays and stuff like that, they're not getting meals, and they ask you to, help out and give out like meals and food and things of that nature. And I would say if you could help, just give, because there's a lot of kids, that's in households that can't afford to eat right now, and it is Christmas time, and they can't afford toys and things of that nature. But definitely, that's one I really, I liked about when he did that.
Yeah. It took me a while to. You got to help me out.
It's okay.
To make sure I can.
Okay.
I have to make sure I can find it. So
it's Chris,
yeah. But yeah, Chris Reed. So I think the audience is able to see it now. So yeah, definitely a good one. Because I talked about mental health, and your physical health is also just as important. And if you have kids that are being healthy while they're young, you don't end up with problems like diabetes potentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very good one to shout out. We'll do some more of these, but let me get to a news story. For those of you, we talked about that Bills Patriots game earlier this week, and after the game, things got a little bit testy with two of the Bills. We need our man Bills fans for life over here. It got a little bit heated. Jerry Sullivan, a reporter with Buffalo, asked the question of whether the defense was embarrassed by the fact that, like you said earlier, Mac Jones only threw 3 passes, and they just basically got ran over. Only thing they did all game was run left, run right, run in the middle. And so the question was, are y'all embarrassed? And Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer took a little bit of exception, talking about, this. What do you do? Why are you asking me this question? They were like, it's about respect. I come out here and I answer questions every week, and I'm gonna remember this because you asking us this question, and they said they didn't know how to respond. What are your thoughts on that whole interaction?
I think it was a dumb question. I can see if they just ran for 400 yards, then you could be embarrassed. But literally, the weather condition was horrible. You ought to know it was going to be a lot of running anyway. It wasn't going to be a lot of passing.
Right.
And they had really one big run, if I'm not mistaken.
A 63, I think like 63-yard run. Damian Harris did. Yeah.
And it was 14-10. So it wasn't like they got blown out. They literally lost by 4 points.
Yeah.
So for him to even say anything, I think that was stupid. But what I liked the most about the whole thing was when he said, "I'm gonna remember that. Don't worry about that. I got you. Don't worry about it." That's a mental note in my head. I'm gonna remember that when that comment you asked me. I get it. I like that. I do.
You know what he needs to remember? The fact that they only threw the ball 3 times and went like 200 yards rushing. I don't look. I agree with you. The question was horribly worded, and when they just lost a game that close, probably not the best of timing. However, they ran like for 200 yards. So y'all in the snow, only throwing 3 passes, completing 2 of them, and really 1 pass was important the whole time. Y'all got embarrassed. You were embarrassed, and that's why they got so offended on that question. So
I don't think it was embarrassing. I think
they were embarrassed.
That was the Patriots' game plan. They knew it was. If you seen the game, it was really windy out there. So throwing the ball was not even an option at that point. So and then on top of that, they didn't put the ball in Mac Jones's hand to win the game because the wind was bad. I mean, they didn't need to be. They ran the ball. If they know you can run the ball, it's like.
Here's my question for you. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna run because they can't throw, and you can't stop it at all.
But nobody never said the Buffalo defense was like that to where
they had one of the top. Run. They had one of the top rushing defenses in the league. They're definitely top 5. I think higher than that though. I can't remember the number.
According to our resident Bills fan,
right?
He said they have the smallest D line in the league, so they're able to run on them.
The word going around is that defense, though their rushing stats look good, they're kind of soft.
Soft. Yeah, that's what he said.
And so this game made them look soft. I think, like I said, the question was horribly worded and horribly timed. But it's very true. They were embarrassed.
I don't think so.
If they weren't embarrassed, they need to be embarrassed because they look like some garbage. Because like I said, there was only one thing they could do, and that's run the ball, and they did it with ease the entire game.
Well, they D-line really ain't that big. So
how good was the running game the Bills had against the Patriots in that exact same situation?
Well, it's the difference because the Bills don't have a running back that you go to. First of all, I mean, like if you had Ramon Stevenson out there on the Bills, then you can do something like that. But you don't have a Ramon Stevenson on the Bills. Like their running backs are terrible. All 3 of them. Breida, all of them are bad. Like they need to. The one thing they need to invest in is a running back. Josh Allen
They
had
recently drafted
65
two,
yards,
and
and both of
and
them
Josh
terrible.
Allen is still their best running back.
And
Yeah,
still their best running back. He
right.
led them in rushing with 65 yards. Singletary, Zach Moss, Breida, all of them are terrible. And all of them got 10 carries.
And he couldn't do anything.
You know the old saying, if you got two quarterbacks, you ain't got no quarterback. If you got 3 running backs, you don't have a running back. Period. Go get a running back. That's all you got to do is draft a running back. Just draft one that you think and give him 25 carries.
Right.
Jeez.
I say this, instead of remembering that reporter's question, they need to remember that they got embarrassed because they're going to play these guys in just a couple of weeks. So hopefully they can do better. Let's hit some of these questions. Justin put out the news that the Raiders signed the best kicker in the league to a 4-year, $18.4 million extension. He's been a fantasy beauty. So,
he has. I picked him up this week.
Great kicker. Chargers coach Brandon Staley says Mike Williams is day-to-day. Yeah, and they didn't rule him out yet. So we'll see how that goes. Welcome Trey S to the show. Who are you going with, Burrow or Russell Wilson this week? Also, Gallup or Jerry Jeudy in a 4 PPR if Debo sits? Good question. Thanks.
I'm going Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Better matchup. Joe Burrow, if you I have Joe Burrow in a couple of leagues. Joe Burrow hasn't really been productive like that this year.
Right.
Over a span of games. And I think Russell Wilson just has a better matchup, personally.
Are you partially saying that because the Bengals are playing you guys?
No, I'm just keeping it 100.
I mean that could be 100. Your defense is last I checked fairly good. So
yeah, Seattle plays Houston, who the last 2 weeks have scored, I think, like 6 points total.
Yeah.
Russ should have a really good game, honestly. And sorry, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. 40-second play call on Saturday to check us out. But you start everybody from Seattle. I mean, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, based on what we saw from the Colts, then yeah.
you go Russell Wilson.
Seattle should have a nice game. I'm with you on that. What about Jerry Jeudy versus Gallup?
I'm going Jeudy. He has the matchup. I mean, you cannot. Matchups are everything, honestly. They play Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, you play court. Well, obviously, you playing Devontae Williams. You're playing Jeudy. You might even consider playing Courtland Sutton. At this point, because Detroit is Detroit. You play the matchup. At this point of the year, you're playing the matchup because you got to see which one going to get you easier points to get you wins, to get you in the playoffs, or get you further to a higher, seed in the playoffs.
I can feel you on that. What's the status of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper?
CeeDee Lamb is playing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think they're
all the receivers are back.
Yeah, I think everybody's back because that would be the only. Yeah, the only reason I would consider Gallup over Jeudy if one of those two guys were out. I'm not impressed a lot. We talked about how bad Teddy Two Gloves is, but like you said. For this particular thing, I go with the matchup. So I'm with you on both of those. So thanks again, Treyas, for the question. There was another question. Justin asked, are you going Taysom Hill or Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson? You got to pick two.
I'm going Russell Wilson.
We just talked about, right?
Yeah. And
are you going Kirk or Taysom? That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I don't particularly like Thursday night games. Because for some reason the guys don't play as well as they would on a Sunday. For me, I would, and I'm not a Taysom Hill fan at all, but they play the Jets, and if you're going matchup, Taysom Hill is probably the one to play. So I'm going Russ and Hill. I'm going Russ and Taysom. Kirk Cousins is going to have to sit this one out.
I'm definitely going Russ. Taysom Hill, that finger bothers me. It's similar to the Russell Wilson thing. We saw Russell Wilson not look that great The only counter to that is Taysom Hill never looks that great passing the ball. You kind of go at Taysom Hill for what he can do with his legs, and that's
Yeah.
like he had 101 yards rushing last week. I
I mean, they played
said
the Jets.
they play the Jets, but
I mean, come on. Sorry,
I'll tell you
Justin.
like this. Just a week ago when we talked about the playoff push, I said Kirk Cousins is the playoff guy. I'm going to go Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson just because I don't feel 100% comfortable with that finger because that seems to really bother Taysom. He's going to push through it and play, but nah, I prefer Kirk Cousins slightly. But yeah, that the Thursday night thing is real, but it's the Steelers. They'll be all right.
I mean, if you watch the game Taysom Hill had
Yeah,
last week when he hurt the finger
yeah,
originally, they just literally went to running the ball.
yeah,
That's it. They ran the ball with him the whole entire time. And even with Alvin Kamara coming back, if you watch Alvin Kamara last year
yeah.
with Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara didn't do anything because Taysom Hill took a lot of his rushes and goal line work. So I'm going Taysom Hill because I think Taysom Hill just going to run a whole lot,
Right.
and I'm going Russell Wilson.
Okay. I can't be
So
mad. I think it's really close between the two, but we definitely both agree on Russell Wilson.
yeah,
Justin points out that David Montgomery didn't practice. I'm not too worried about it until like Friday if he hasn't practiced.
yeah,
So we'll see. I hope because if he plays, he's gonna be phenomenal because he's Monty. We love him. I do.
yeah.
I Justin agrees that the Bills should have stopped that run, and that's why they're not making. The Bills were one of my favorites at the beginning of the season. I'm seeing a lot of chinks in their armor. Where I don't think the Bills are going to make it through the playoffs this year. I think they look more fierce last year. So I'm with you. The defense is suspect off that one game, and
Yeah.
Josh Allen has not looked
I
Josh
was about to ask you
Allen-y.
that.
Yeah.
Has he took a step back?
Now I give him a slight pass the other night because, like you said, it was very windy. I'm actually surprised they threw the ball as much as they did. And
Yeah.
I say one thing about Josh Allen: my man has a cannon because as windy as it was, he was ripping right through. Like, was
Yeah.
the wind even blowing? You couldn't tell from the way he was throwing. He's got an arm.
Yeah.
But I think he's making more mistakes this year than he did last year when everybody was enamored with Josh Allen, including us. We thought he was turning it around, and he's still not been bad, but he hasn't been as good as I think the Bills need him because they don't, like you
Yeah.
said, they don't have a rushing game. He has to be
Mhm.
lights out like it was last year, or they don't have a shot at it. And yeah, it's not
See,
looking
but
great.
that's their fault. That's their fault not getting the rushing game
Yeah,
because they won't decide. It's like they don't give either one Singletary because if you don't remember, Singletary was really good his rookie
yeah,
season. He was really good his rookie season, and they just decided to go Zach Moss the year after that, and they said, "Well, we're gonna just not give him any carries." But
right.
by running Josh Allen 15, 20 times a game, well, not even that, but running him 12 times a game, that's not good because he can't keep taking those hits. He's big, I get it, but at the same time,
Yeah,
you got to let him be a quarterback. And he's regressed a little bit this year. I ain't saying he back to the Josh Allen where we just was bashing him totally,
yeah.
but he's definitely regressed a little bit.
All right, new question. Are you going with Teddy Two Gloves or Zach Wilson?
Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy
Let me
Two
not mess with
Gloves.
Zach Wilson. Let me not mess with Zach Wilson.
Nah,
Zach Wilson can't get out his own way.
Zach Wilson is a negative. I don't give
Yeah.
up hope with him if the Jets, but I give up hope with him for my fantasy football needs
Yeah.
until next
Yeah.
year. What do you think the workload's going to be with Chase Edmonds coming back and along with James Conner? I think they're rolling with Connor like they've been because Connor's been so doggone good this year. It's been maddening because we were both big Chase Edmonds guys.
Well, he's back on. He's back to when he was, I guess, the first couple years in Pittsburgh.
Right.
When he came his coming out party in Pittsburgh. But I think it's gonna be like a 60-40 James Conner right off the back. But But the coach was basically saying that Edmonds coming back this week and he's probably going to get some work, but probably going to be 60-40.
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah.
And then I probably did work Chase back in or whatever.
I agree. And similar with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
No, I think Dillon. This is the thing. You can't take Dillon off the field now.
No, not
because at all. Of what he does. But you can't take Jones off the field either.
He's that good.
He's that good. So either you play both of them at the same time, which you can mess with a defense's head if you play them both at the same time. But I mean, I see a 65-35 split.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Who's getting a 65? Aaron Jones?
Yeah, you got to get Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
That's paying him too much money to not give him the ball. Yeah.
I think it could be closer. I don't think it's going to be 50-50, but maybe like 60-40, but somewhere around a slight edge to Aaron Jones. But yeah, you can't deny.
I do think A.J. Dillon steals his goal line carries.
Yeah. Yeah, but why wouldn't you? Yeah. So
I do think he does. He'll steal
100% with you on that one. You got any Super Bowl predictions you want to give out?
That's right. 49ers and the Raiders.
No.
I'm just playing.
Not the Raiders I know.
Don't pay me no mind. I'm just joking. But no, for real.
Yeah.
49ers.
No.
49ers in the page. I mean, 49ers in the Bucks. And I'm leaving you that day. I don't care what nobody say about me.
Yeah. Okay. So I told y'all at the beginning it was gonna be the Chiefs and the Rams. I'm still feeling my Chiefs. I am not feeling my Rams. Like the Rams, I'm gonna substitute unless they really turn this thing around quickly. I'm gonna put room for the Packers to slide in. But I do love the way the Patriots are looking, so I wouldn't be completely surprised by that one. So let's hit a couple more of these. Oh no, wait. Let me do this news. Let me do this last NFL news story. What do you got?
Okay, go ahead. No, I wanted to say this. The Packers can't get past the NFC Championship game. So, therefore, I don't think they're making it. Every time they get there, they find a way.
There was that one time.
No, it was twice. Because they lost to the Patriots, they lost to the Bucks last year, and the year before.
No, I'm saying it was that one time that they made it through to win the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was recently, but it happened. All right, let me hit this last news story, and this one is for all of those that don't understand when I say AB dead to me. He's dead to me, Antonio Brown, and he's been dead for a while, and now he's super dead because he decided to go and get a fake vaccination card. He and two other members of the Bucks, Mike Edwards and John Franklin III. John Franklin III, not even a real member of the Bucks. He was on the practice squad, so he doesn't even matter. He's a free agent at the moment. He was suspended for 3 games. The whole group was, but most likely he has played his last game with the Bucks because he just embarrassed the franchise. And here's my only thing about this: the guy is garbage. He's trash. He's had, and I'm just saying, he's a horrible human being, and I mean that with the honest of sincerity. He's had assault charges, throwing furniture out of windows, almost hitting little children. He's had 2 sexual assault cases that he settled out of court. He's he's had battery charges, burglary charges, and yet and still people keep bringing him back, especially Tom Brady, because apparently he loves that guy for some odd reason. To me, that's like night and day. Antonio Brown is garbage, and please, NFL people, don't give him another shot. He needs to be out of the league forever because he sucks. Not as a player, because that's why people like him, but as a human, Antonio Brown sucks. There you go. That's my news story. And welcome Nita to the show, by the way.
You got it off your chest now?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel clean and clear, and
okay. I just want to make sure.
Like I got a good weight out.
Hey, look, the way we work over here at RJ Fantasy Football, we give you all the space you need to release all of it. Okay, all of it. All right.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Justin says, because you said You mentioned the
Yes.
49ers and you mentioned the 49ers and Bucks earlier.
I mean, you know what I meant. I
the
meant the 49ers and you know what? Don't pay me no mind. I was on a rant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just to also
um,
release that we laugh at the Packers and the Chiefs. I don't think I would have laughed at that. I got to see the film because I definitely wouldn't have laughed at the Chiefs because I've been saying the Chiefs and the Packers. I may have doubted, but no,
again,
I like the
Packers
Packers.
can't get out of the NFC Championship game.
You might have been
Okay?
the one laughing then.
I am laughing because they can't make it out of the NFC Championship game. They have not went to a Super Bowl since 2010. People, stop. Aaron Rodgers is living off that one Super Bowl. Period. He's living off that one Super Bowl.
He's made a lot of money and fame off of that one Super Bowl.
One Super Bowl. And every other year they got to the NFC Championship game or didn't get there. So no. No. Come on, man. See, I got to stop with this. Now, my real prediction is really, I think it's going to be a rematch. Honestly, I think it's going to be Kansas City and Tampa Bay when it all comes down to it. So that's why I think it's going to be a rematch of that.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Let's take a moment and go back to some of these. We talking about my calls, my cleats. I think we got all the questions. Hold on, wait, no. Before we go there, one new comment from Justin. All time, Antonio Brown is a player. Is top 10 wideout all time. 10. I have to go through a list. He's high up on the list. I'd say. Oh, by the way, Sydney says not again on that rematch. Like not happening.
No, it's gonna be the Niners. It's gonna be the 49ers, and it's gonna be New England.
Mm-hmm. It's not good. Let me go to these cleats. We're talking about our subject for tonight is my calls, my cleats. We're highlighting some of the great things that we saw NFL players representing. Gaston are the exact opposite of that garbage that is Antonio Brown, by the way. And so let's hit up a new one. I like this one. He's not a current player. But Randy Moss, his cleats, well, they're not really cleats, they're tennis shoes, but the ones he represented was Black Girls Code. And for those that don't know, I'm a science geek, and I do a lot of coding with my job, and there is a definite need for not only more minorities as far as blacks, but minorities as far as women, because it's a very male-dominated field. And so I appreciate Randy Moss making that his cleat. So big props to Randy Moss. Big props to Black Girls Code. Another one we have on our list, Brevin Jordan. What you got there? I think this one was one of yours. Or was this one of mine?
You talking about Dak Prescott?
No, I'm not on Dak. I'm on Brevin Jordan. Who his cleats were for brain cancer awareness.
Oh yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
Brain cancer. That's what more can you say? Honestly, cancer is a deadly. I don't know if I know this is off topic, but it's off topic from fantasy. But if I don't know if y'all heard in the news, Nick Cannon's baby boy, died of brain cancer over Thanksgiving. So he was young. He was literally, I think, 6 months. He had fluid on the brain, and they say he didn't have long to live. And they said he had surgery. They got some of the fluid out, but it just took a turn for the worse, and he ended up dying over Thanksgiving. And he had brain cancer. So that's something. It can happen at any age. So you got to really be careful with that and just take care of yourself, honestly. And cancer cancer is deadly. So it's real.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that a lot of players highlighted for their not just brain cancer, but cancer in general. Was one of the really big things that people did, because, like I said, it's something that touches literally everybody. If not in your family, someone has been affected by cancer. So it's definitely one of those things. And like we said at the beginning of the show, the reason we're highlighting so many of these is because just as the NFL is doing, bringing awareness to it and just reminding people, hey, if you follow fantasy football, you follow the NFL, and these are players that you like. Or just players that you like their causes. By all means, it's the Christmas season. It's time for giving. So please consider making donations to all of these different ones that we're highlighting and that the NFL has highlighted this past week. You mentioned Dak Prescott. Do you want to jump into him?
Or one, Andrew, Sandro, for McCoats. He had on some Dare sneakers for, obviously Dare from school. DRE. Yeah. That is, we all know about Dare from school, as far as, drug awareness type thing. So it's a lot of kids that's getting hooked on like perks and lean, and they mixing drugs, and a lot of these kids are dying from overdose and stuff like that. So you got to keep your kids safe. I know firsthand. I have a daughter that's 7, but when she get older, I would teach her that's not the way to go. You want to take, because it ruins your body, and I know firsthand, just not from having a daughter, but I also know just family members from being on drugs at the end of the day. So it can be it can turn from recreation to really bad really quick, because you'll start having fun, and then it'll go from to you getting addicted into where you lose everything possible in your life. So at the end of the day, that's something that I've learned from going to school. So
yeah,
I'm glad they still kind of preach that in school nowadays. So definitely.
Yeah, I remember being a kid in elementary school, and they had the DARE program come to our schools, and that's another one. Like I said, that it touches people's lives everywhere. So it's definitely another one of those great causes. Justin, I think was earlier when we were talking about the cancer awareness. Good topic to talk about, or we might be talking about just the cleats and the cause of cleats in general. And Sydney L, our producer, also, because she has a STEM background as well, and so yeah, definitely we need more women in these STEM programs. Let's go to another one we haven't done yet. I want to talk about. I mentioned earlier something that the Colts were doing, and here's another cleat from the Colts. Jonathan Taylor talking about Boys to Men. We're not talking about the music group, but so this is a program that's basically geared towards helping underprivileged children, and so I go back so you can see if you didn't get a chance to read this cleat in particular, and if it might be the print might be too small, but it talks about basically giving a foundation for men, and then also respecting women, and a society can be judged in a lot of ways by how they treat their women. And so we're giving boys as a foundation growing up on how to be men and how to respect their women. Then I think that's an also. It actually reminds me of a program we used to have. I don't know if my father is still watching. We had a program he used to had called the Future Men's Club, and
they still have it.
They still have it, and so in that same kind of way, it's just taking young boys and showing them how they can grow into productive men in society. So definitely another worthy one. Yeah,
that hits home for me because I have a lot of which like the Jones, like Josh and all them. I have a lot of younger that grew up with me since they were teenagers,
right,
9, 10 years old, and you groom them to be
right,
successful. You want to groom them to be successful as far as in life, not just working, but to be successful as men growing up and doing the right thing and treating women right and being that good guy. And
Mm-hmm.
I have watched a few of them actually grow up over the span of probably 10, 11 years. And they've grown up to be really good kids. They working, they living on their own. They getting their own cribs. They got really good jobs, and they actually working. They're not on the street. They're not hanging out. They're not going to clubs. And yes, they're teenagers. They're young men. They're gonna make mistakes, but you don't bash them for making mistakes. You talk to them and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do this time around. Well, next time around when you messed up this time." So it's all about a teaching thing with them,
Right.
and you don't have to spotlight them and put it out for everybody to see. You put them to the side and you talk to them.
Right.
You don't have to do because by doing that, you just making it even worse for them because it's like you need that spotlight to show them, hey, I'm telling you what to do. No, it's not about that. You're teaching them something, but you don't have to do it in a crowd.
Right.
And I don't like when people do that. That's the worst thing when you're trying to teach them something like that. So I think that's a very good cause. And it's a lot of kids that don't have male figures in their house that
Mm-hmm.
need that future man to say, hey, you know what? All right, let me take you to a ball game. Let me take you here, just to kind of have a feel of having a man in the house.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them don't have that. So for one, it's like if even at my age and your age, we have younger guys. And if you're out there and you're a little older and you see somebody that need that help, pull them along and say, hey, come roll with me right quick so I can show you what it is to be a man. So
Exactly.
definitely that hits home. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. Nina Garber did they steal that from the Future Man's guy? I don't think it was, but we have to launch an investigation. My mother is a Colts fan, so she might have been spreading the word so about the
Oh,
Future
no,
Man's Club. Very important. Very important.
yeah.
Let's keep it rolling. Another one that made this. We talked about brain cancer earlier. Farrah Green also has here's for breast cancer awareness, which was
Mm-hmm.
another topic you saw in a lot of shoes. I like the I wear pink for mom for my
Yeah, I
mom up
like that.
there. So yeah, um,
Those there was some dope cleats. I like those
yeah,
cleats the way he had them. So
yeah.
pretty dope.
And pink is the new black. So
I
it's,
guess,
it's
I
one of those
guess
things that we can do.
that's what they say. So I
Yeah,
don't
they
know,
so that's
but
another really good one. You got another one you want to jump to?
um, let's jump to I'm not sure what that cleats were.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Um, but me as a sneakerhead, I actually like the shoe just in general. Um, but I'm not sure what his cause was, but I'm pretty sure it was something where it was a cause that he believed in. So
Yeah,
I just don't know what it is,
I
though,
gotta find
honestly.
it. It's his own foundation. Actually, it's called Faith Fight Finish
Hmm.
Foundation,
Yeah.
and it's sort of right along those lines, right there. And you saw this with a lot of the players. They have their own foundations that they're going with. This one and the I forget all the wording in it, but of course, faith it's a faith sort of based foundation, but it's helping underprivileged people, and for those that don't know, one of the things it has a lot of different segments, but one of the things that's important, I know for him, his brother passed away just last season, the suicide, and so they it's like a multi-branched kind of organization that they're going with there. Um, so another one of the good ones. We had in addition to that, the next one we'll move with. Um, by the way, before we already talked about this. Before I can say I forgot going back to Dak Prescott's cleats. You can buy a bunch of these online. And they have an NFL auction that's going towards all these different colors. And I was looking at the auction, and I want to say these cleats were like the auction price was like $4,000 or $6,000. It was some insanely high amount of money.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that's those are yeah, they're expensive, bro.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of people putting in on that bid. So we'll see. We talked about the Dare one. Um, let's go to somebody local. We talked about Dak had his foundation. Another one is Tyrod Taylor, and he had his own foundation up there. I love this shoe. I'll let you talk about it because I think I know why you chose this one.
This about Dak shoe?
Oh no, the Tyrod Taylor shoe.
Oh, Tyrod. I don't have that picture. I think you have that one.
Oh
I don't have
well,
that one.
the Tyrod Taylor shoe. If you look very closely, it looks like I said, it's his own foundation, the Tyrod Taylor Foundation. But if you
Oh,
look
that is the
very
one I picked.
closely at that shoe on the left, you'll
Like
see
Monopoly.
you'll see the Monopoly board. But
Yeah.
that first place is the state of Virginia. You'll see the Hampton High School, the Crabbers. You'll see Virginia
Oh
Tech, and
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see
Okay.
Shell Road because our man Tyrod Taylor
He's
is
from Virginia.
a Virginia guy, so he's right back where we're from, and so he was representing the locals. But his foundation is really good. One of the things
Yeah.
they did just this Thanksgiving, they were passing out turkeys in the neighborhood. So he does a lot of stuff with youth. He does a lot of stuff again with underrepresented people, and so the Tyrod Taylor Foundation. I think one of the things they were sending money to this week was like the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
So those kind of boys and girls clubs got a lot of attention from about a lot of players this week because a lot of them grew up in those kind of clubs, and that's where their foundation is where they spent their time when they were young, finding a place off the streets or just a safe place to be. So
Which is weird because it's
yeah,
not even a lot of boys and girls clubs around anymore,
yeah,
and that's really part of the problem with young men nowadays because they have nowhere to go to be like men
uh-huh.
like boys need structure. So it's definitely like you need structure in your life to kind of make you become a man. If you don't have structure, you may go off the rails. So the boys and girls clubs is always a structured place for you to go, where you can go have fun and still be in a organized place where they have you, give you food, clothing, whatever you needed. But they don't have that anymore, and I think they need to come back and kind of do some of that. But that's just what we living in right now. They don't make they tearing them places down and making them skating rinks and stuff like that. So who knows?
Yeah. Anita Bracy chiming in. She missed the first part about Tony Brown, who's dead to me. He's a piece of trash. Is basically the summary of my statement. But yeah, he
Oh my
got that.
gosh.
I mentioned the long list of his charges and problems he's had in his very troubled past. But yeah, going to the reason he got damned out was because he didn't pay his personal chef, and then the chef found some conscience apparently. And it said it was not because he didn't pay me, but I just felt bad that he was trying to defraud people and blah 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 blah. Basically, if he had paid the man his money, then he wouldn't have been found out. So he's a piece of garbage, and he's a piece of garbage who doesn't pay the people who's supposed to go. So yeah, Antonio Brown, garbage. Go rewind the tape after we finish and see that
Two
full thing. But
grand.
yeah,
Oh,
Tyrod.
he down for 2 grand, bro.
Yeah,
Like
but
wow.
Tyrod Taylor, he says all right. Yeah, he's 99% because he had no. Oh, he he didn't put no state on his cleats. Well,
It's okay.
since he went to Virginia Tech, I'm gonna give him a
He went to Virginia
pass.
Tech.
I'm gonna give
I
him a
mean, come
pass
on.
on not having us up there. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
it's okay.
that 99% was good. He just missed out on
Yeah.
that 1%. We just have a couple other ones. This one I really like. J.D. McKissick we talked about earlier, who's unfortunately was injured this past week, but
Mhm.
he highlighted the National Museum of African American history and culture in his cliques. I love the images in these. There was another player on Washington's football team that also highlighted that museum. Have you been to that yet?
Oh, not yet.
Getting past your bedtime.
Man, I'm up all night, man. What you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love that is dope.
Yeah, the shoe is just phenomenal.
The shoe is crazy, yes.
Yeah. But I've had a chance to go once to the museum, and it's like it is so much there. You need to take a day or maybe a weekend and just go through everything. I went that one time and I still didn't get through everything. In the museum, so I have to make a return trip at some point and see everything that I missed. We had one other shoe I highlight, and that is the Joe Barrow's Athens County Food Pantry. And this is another subject that was in a lot of players' cleats, not just Athens County, but just dealing with the lack of food, people being malnourished, and basically just providing for people, whether they're homeless or whether they're just in need of extra, going through some hardship. Especially we've seen through this COVID time, a lot of churches, a lot of different organizations doing food banks to try to make sure that people can eat healthy meals. So I think that's another one that's definitely deserves a lot of attention. In fact, there's a chef, I need our producer to help me out with his last name, Jose something. I forget his name, but he does like the World Food Pantry or kitchen, and so they go to a lot of different disaster areas, like when there was the earthquakes in Haiti, the hurricanes that happened, and they basically whenever there's been a disaster, they've gone around and made sure that there's food for people, because our producer is also very into that, because her background is in culinary, and one of the things that she used to do with one of her other jobs was teaching food and health education to like kids, and so showing them how going over like how to do proper meals, addressing things like the food deserts. A lot of people, especially in the urban areas, don't live in places where they have good grocery stores or healthy food readily available to them. So you see a lot of people going to like corner stores, and that's where you get your nutrition from, or fast food. So it's just paying attention to that need that a lot of people have. So I'm glad to see that one was highlighted in a lot of different places.
Yeah, definitely. Food pantries, especially like I say, this time of the year.
Yeah.
With the holidays around, they definitely help families out. So that's good that these guys are. I just want to say, I think they did a really, really good job this year. They do it every year anyway, but still, I think the NFL does a good job with letting these guys show that, show us whatever cause they want. Even though I think these guys behind the scene, they do it all year round.
Yeah.
But just to bring it to the forefront, I think is really good for the NFL to allow these guys to actually say, hey, we're going to let y'all put this name out here, or whatever y'all cause is. Because it's good, because it makes awareness for people to say, hey, I think we need to, send money here for this person or that person, or whatever it may be. I just think it's a good thing for the NFL. I think they should do it more often. Actually. I think they should do it more than just once a year. So that's me. I think at least 2 to 3 times a year, but not just once.
Yeah, it's an awesome day, and I hope they do. Like I said, doing more of it would be great. Thank you for the help. It's Jose Andres. I knew Andres. I was close, but the name of the organization he heads is the World Central Kitchen. So we talked about we mentioned all these as good things, especially with these, like you said, with this holiday time going on. Hey, let's be generous, not just to our friends and family, our loved ones, but let's consider some of these different charities, and that's what the season is all about. So hey, If there's one that we mentioned, or there's maybe one we didn't mention that you want to highlight, feel free to put in a comments, or just remember them in this giving season, and donate with your checkbook or with your time. Do what you can.
Time is important too. So
yes,
definitely.
Indeed.
So
yep.
That's all we got. We appreciate
it.
y'all, man. This has been a really enlightful, good show.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Definitely good show. But like I say, I enjoyed it. You ain't got nothing, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah. Hey, I've got one thing. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Right. We love to hear from you. You can hit us on our social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. You leave a comment right here on YouTube. Hit us up. We'll try to hit you back. And definitely tune in Saturday for the 40-second play clock. It's the last week of the regular season, so we're gonna go through those last games you need to hopefully get over the hump and get yourself in those playoffs. Just said, when will we hear Monday Night Football practice reports?
Normally that's if you like Sunday games, they normally have who's really gonna play.
Yeah.
So I think Monday Eve.
Yeah, that's
Sunday morning. That's a tough one because you really don't know. Because they normally do walkthroughs on Saturday. I don't think they do anything on Sunday, but I know they do walkthroughs on Saturday. So more like Sunday morning-ish or Sunday night. A lot of
times you have to wait for that. You mentioned not liking Thursday night games, which I don't either. But I'm also not a big fan of Monday night games, not because the players don't play as well, but because you have to wait so long. And so a lot of times you have those terrible decisions you have to make where sometimes I'll sit a player I like because if they have a question mark if they have a questionable by their name and I don't want to risk it, I bench them and play a player I hate or I like less just because I know they're playing. So that one you'll have to wait probably until, like you said, Saturday, or Sunday, even.
More likely Sunday. Those Sunday shows will tell you if somebody's playing on Monday.
Yeah,
because they already did a walk on Saturday.
Unless it's one of those game time decisions, in which case
you don't play the guy anyway.
There you go.
So but like I say, we're here, we're going nowhere.
Yes,
let's help us reach this milestone, man. Honestly, we appreciate all y'all.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your comments, all your questions. Hey, we'll be back here again next week. Until then, best of luck to everybody with your fantasy football squads. Let's do it. Peace out.